In our next video, we're going to look at the idea of equilibrium as it relates to moments. Now, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos on moments, now would be a good time, I suggest, to check back and have a look at those, so make sure that we know what we're doing. So, when a rigid body is in equilibrium, the resultant force in any direction is zero, so 0 newtons, and the resultant moment about any point is 0 Newton meters. So what we're essentially saying is there's no resultant force acting on that rigid body, and also the moment, we looked at resultant moments in the previous video, the resultant moment about any point is also 0. So a couple of examples to have a look at there. So the diagram shows a uniform rod AB with length 3 meters and weight 20 newtons, resting horizontally on supports at A and C, where AC equals 2 meters, and we're being asked to calculate the magnitude of the reaction at each of the supports. So the first thing we need to consider, we've been given the supports A and C, and each of these, because our rod, our rigid body, is lying on those supports, the weight of that will act through the center of mass, and the weight there is 20 newtons. It acts through the center of mass because we were told the rod is uniform, so that allows us to make that assumption that its weight acts through the center. So if I consider that, we were told the rod had length 3 meters, so just to put some distances on, this is going to be 1.5 meters. We've then got that distance to the pivot being at 0.5 meters, and then we've got our 1 meter there. Since we've got the weight acting downwards, so I've got a reaction force at A, I'll just write that, reaction A, and I've also got a reaction force at C. Now, because they're in equilibrium, that means the resultant force and the resultant moment about any point is 0. So if I think about that resultant force part first, the resultant forces, I've got RA and RC, so the reaction at A and the reaction at C going up the way, and I've got the weight of 20 newtons going down the way. So I know that RA plus RC must be equal to 20. That's in equilibrium, so the forces going up must be equal to the forces going down. We also know that the resultant moment about any point is 0. So if I we'll take moments about A. The reason why I'm taking moments about A, because the reaction at A is one of the unknowns, if I take moments about this point, the moment of this force itself will be 0, since there's no distance, force times distance. If I multiply by 0, I'm going to get a 0. That's going to leave me with only one unknown that I can find. So I'm going to be able to find the reaction at C and then substitute back into here to get the reaction at A. So if I take moments about A, then in the moments going in the clockwise direction, I've got 20 times 1.5. So 20 times 1.5 in the clockwise direction, and that must be equal to the moment in the anti-clockwise direction, where I've got 2 lots of the reaction at C. So that is equal to 2 lots of the reaction at C. Well, 20 times 1.5 is 30. So 30 is equal to 2 lots of the reaction at C, which means dividing by 2, the reaction at C must equal to 15. So the reaction at point C is equal to 15 Newton meters. And then as a result of that, the reaction at A plus the reaction at C is 20, it follows that the reaction at A must be equal to 5 Newton meters, because then those two add to make our 20. Moving on to our second example, so example 2. A uniform beam AB of mass 40 kilograms and length 5 meters rests horizontally on supports at C and D, where AC and DB are both equal to 1 meter. When a man of mass 80 kilograms stands on the beam at E, the magnitude of the reaction at D is twice the magnitude of the reaction at C. By modelling the beam as a rod and the man as a particle, find the distance AE. So the first thing we're going to look at, we're trying to find the distance between the end of our rod here and where the man is stood. So I'm going to call that distance, we'll call that distance X. So I've got that distance there, X. We've got the man has a mass of 80 kilograms. Again, before we were given a weight, since we're being given a mass, that means the weight acting down is 80 G newtons. We also have the mass of the beam, which was 40 kilograms. So I'll just take the center to be somewhere here. We've got a weight of 40 G. Again, we were given a mass, so we've got 40 G newtons there. And since the beam is uniform, that means that the weight will act at the center of mass. We were told the beam had length 5 meters, so half of 5 is 2.5. This must be 2.5 from either end. So just working that distance from here to the center is going to be 1.5 meters. And again, if that's 1, this must also be 1.5 meters to there. So we were told when a man stands on the beam at E, the magnitude of the reaction at D is twice the magnitude at C. So the reaction force at C, we said the reaction at D was twice the reaction at C. So rather than writing reaction at D, I'm just going to put 2 lots of the reaction at C. Now, our first consideration of those forces being in equilibrium is that the forces going up the way will be equal to the total of the forces going down the way. So up the way, I've got reaction at C plus 2 lots of the reaction at C. I've got 3 lots of RC, and that is going to be equal to 80G plus another 40G. That is going to be 120G. I'll keep that written in terms of G for now. If I need to do that, turn that into 9.8, I can do. There may be a case that G's will cancel, so I'll just keep it like that for now. So the reaction at C must be 40G. So we've got our 40G there. So if the reaction at C is 40G, I can write that as being 40G, which means 2 lots of the reaction at C. That must be 80G. I'll just add those to our diagram to support us as we go. So now, if I take moments about A, so moments about A, then in the direction which is anti-clockwise, we'll go anti-clockwise first. I've got the 40G times 1 here. So 40G times 1, force times distance. And we've also got 80G times, well, the distance from A to this point here. If the entire length of our beam was 5 meters, and this is 1 here. This distance here must be 4. So I've got 80g times 4. That is the sum of the moments in the anti-clockwise direction. So that must be equal to the moments in the clockwise direction, where I have 2.5, this 1 plus this 1.5. I've got 2.5 times 40g. So 40g times 2.5. And I've also got the distance x times 80g. So plus 80g x. So now let's do a little bit of simplification. So 40g times 1 is just 40g. 80g times 4 is 320g. And that is equal to 40g times 2.5 is 100g plus 80gx. Now it was useful that I wrote things in terms of g and left it that way, because everything is or has a multiple of g, so in a moment they'll be able to cancel. Do a little bit of simplification first. So 40g add 320g is going to be 360, lots of g, and that's going to be equal to 100g plus 80gx. And then at this point I can cancel out g's, so that leaves me 360 is equal to 100 plus 80x, and then I've just got a linear equation I can solve, subtract my 100 from both sides, so 260 is equal to 80x, and then I can divide through by 80, and that's going to give me that x is equal to 260 divided by 80, which gives me 3.25. So that distance AE was 3.25 meters, and that there is our final answer. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. For more A11 GCSE maths content, like and subscribe to N Jackson Maths on YouTube.